What's good? What's going on, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? Uh, we got a treat today. Today we're gonna do. We've been doing top fives, man. We've been doing top fives. That's been our theme. Top five action movies. I'm bringing my guy on here with me again, Derek Gaines. You know what I'm saying, and we're gonna give y'all our list of top five action movies that we've seen. And y'all could join us in the chat. Y'all more than welcome to tell us your list. One person I know that's gonna always give his list is Pooh Man. You ain't never gotta worry about that. Pooh Man gonna always give you his list. Before I bring my guy Derek Gaines in here, let me get in the chat real quick. Salute to Pooh Man. Lucky number Salvin is number one for him. The Boondock Saints, that actually was a good one. I didn't like the Boondock Saints, the 24. I didn't really like that one. Rock and Roller and Snatch. Yep, that's probably the only one I didn't like was probably the Boondock, that second Boondock Saint. He said, my bro, stay ready. He said top five action movies, man. That's a good one. D Man said, here I am. Eric Jordan's salute, bro. Appreciate you. My bro Humble. Him, and D Man was just on the in the party chat on the game. So salute to both my bros, man. And yeah, man. Let me bring in Derek Gaines. Derek Gaines, man. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. I appreciate it, man. You having me on one more time. Everybody that showed up in the chat, Eric Jordan, my good brother, D Man. I saw Pooh Man's pick. Um, I never seen none of his movies.
You never
Uh,
seen Boondock Saints?
no, is that a Martin Scorsese movie?
I don't know who. It was a good movie though. The first one anyway. I didn't the second one because I remember
Mm-hmm,
like me and my cousins and them we was really into that when it had came
mm-hmm.
out. I remember I didn't see it in theater. I maybe watched it 2 years after it like came out or whatever. But it
Right.
was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, I didn't see any of his movies. I vaguely remember watching Boondock Saints, but I don't remember watching it at the same time. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was on, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
yeah, I know what you're saying. A movie could be on, but that don't
Hmm.
necessarily mean you actually watching it. Because to me, watching a movie is giving the movie your full undivided attention.
Right,
What's
right.
going
It
and
didn't it
yeah,
didn't draw me in. I like a movie that draws me in. You know what I mean?
hmm
It didn't like capture me. So that's probably why I just had it on and wasn't paying attention. I might have just turned the channel, knowing me, or took it off. But no, I
I
didn't see none of his picks.
you ain't see Snatch?
No,
Wow.
no, it's
Snatch.
crazy too. I love. There's a action movie with Paul. I think it's Paul Giamatti. He's the guy that played in Straight Outta Compton. He played a manager. Um,
Oh yeah, yo, he
yeah,
got
I seen most of his movies. And it had Clive Owens. It's an action movie, and at the time when it came out, it had the most shots fired in the opening scene or something at the time. I'll look it up later and hit 'em up. That's what it was. Hit 'em up. Yep, that's what it was. Thank you, Pooh Man 313. Hit 'em up. If you haven't seen Hit 'em up, you need to see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
he hit that right on the head.
Let's get into these picks. Let's get into these picks, brother.
All right.
Um,
You want to go first?
you know what? Why not? Which, which one I want? I think go first, real quick. Derek Games, go
Oh,
first. I think I might have missed one of mine.
okay. Well, I'll start off with Starship Troopers.
All right. Hey,
What when
yeah.
I was thinking of action movies that I saw, that I go by movies that I watch over and over again, and it is something about this movie that is goofy. It's goofy. It has cheesy one-liners, but at the same time, it's entertaining. It didn't do well at the young dudes, but it didn't do well at all. Um, this movie was made directed by Paul Verhoeven. He brought you Basic Instinct. He brought you Showgirl. He brought you Total Recall, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he brought you Hollow Man, which is a good Kevin Bacon movie. Um, he also brought you, I do believe he brought you the Green Lantern too. So you could yell at him for the Green Lantern.
Oh, so that was
Uh,
the same guy that did that. You did. You did. Derek, kind of cutting out.
okay, okay. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I hear you now. It's like you was talking and then it like you kind of cut out a little bit. Go
Okay.
ahead. You say what you
Um,
said about Starship Troopers.
yeah, Clancy Brown. He's a veteran actor. You'll know him from Shawshank Redemption. He did voice work for Invincible. He's in the Star Wars Ahsoka show. He was in John Wick 4, and he's a veteran actor. I like him. The movie is about giant bugs attacking the Earth, and the Earth. It's funny. The Earth was one world government then, and it gives straight shots at Star Trek because the one world government is called the Federation. So, in order for you to get citizenship guaranteed in the Federation, you had to join the military. And it got if you into like this explosions and gunfights with giant insects and this movie actually has Neil Patrick Harris too.
Oh, wow.
uh yeah, I don't know why he was in the movie, but yeah, he was in it. He was in the movie. It's a Great waste of time movie. Like I said, it's corny, bad one lines, lots of action. The CGI was dated at the time. It cost $110 million to make, and it only made $121 million. Like I said, it is considered a young person's movie at the time. The girl on the left of him, that's pictured on the screen, she it was lots of boobs in this picture, and also the guy who played the general at the training facility, he was also in Breaking Bad. He was the police officer trying to catch Mr. White. So he's a veteran actor. It also has an actor that played in The Walking Dead. He played the pastor or the reverend when the group was on the run from the cannibals. They hid out in the church, and he that was his church. So, this movie helped. I'm not gonna say help jumpstart a lot of people's careers, but you can see where they break their teeth. This movie has a cult following
He said, "Oh, you never watched it? I never watched it either, but I always seen it. I
Yeah, they
always
did like three feature length films and four feature length films and three anime cartoons. So it did well enough for them to keep making it.
yeah.
Um, Again, it's cheesy one lines, lots of action. It's a great. It's one of those movies where you want to watch something. It's not bad. It's not good. I would say
The act, but you saying the action is good. It may not have a strong storyline, but the action is good.
yeah, Eric, I do, man, because there's one scene in this movie where they have a um what's the word for it? It like a like a group shower, basically male and females are in the shower together. So it's very entertaining. It has Gary Busey. Remember Gary Busey from what what's that movie? He played in DC Cap. He was in DC Cap. Um, his son is in this movie, so it's an entertaining movie. If you want to watch a movie that's it'll waste your time. You got time to kill. I must have seen it 100 times, man. So if it's on or if I'm skimming for something to watch real quick, I'll choose this.
Okay.
And to me, I gave it a 2 out of 5 on the rewatch scale.
2 out of 5.
Yeah, 2 out of 5.
Okay. So basically, you're not recommending me to ever watch this movie.
Mm, no, no.
But I would be entertained by the action.
I think you'd be entertained by the action and D-Man Jr. The lady on the left, you do see her boobs. She has a very nice pair, very very nice pair. I'm just saying
That's give
that's
me
what it
crazy.
was geared to. It was let me see when this movie come out, 1997. So that's it was a young adolescent. It was what I'm trying to say. It was geared towards the young adolescent then.
Okay.
Because when you watch it, it actually plays like a video game. So yeah, you got the hero, you got the hot chick, you got the enemy, and you got jabs at Star Trek. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we're gonna go to my pick. We're gonna go to Kill Bill. Uh, that's my first pick. I'm gonna be talking about now. This I'm pretty sure everybody in the comment section, and I already know. I'm sure you've seen Kill Bill. Um, Derek Gaines. I know. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you've seen it. Both
yeah,
of you.
I've seen it. I loved it.
Me too. Um,
Um,
Uma Thurman did her thing, man. Did her
yes, she
thing.
did.
I, I put both of them together. I'm not no separate. I put them together because it's like a franchise type of thing. So I paired them as one. But one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when um she sliced off what's her name's head, not head, but like her scalp.
Hmm.
Freaking Lucy Liu, Uma Thurman. It was a lot of great scenes. I love the scene when she's fighting Vivica Fox too in the first one. When she's in there with her kid because
Hmm.
you know what they did to Uma Thurman in the beginning. On her wedding day. So this is definitely a great movie. If you haven't seen, a lot of action, a lot of sword play. They got your man's on there. Old dude, man. Where was he from, man? Uncle always say, "Dang, my uncle and my mom always watched that show when I was a baby."
David Carradine,
He was in what's that? Kung Fu. What?
Kung Fu.
Yeah.
That was Kung Fu was actually thought up for Bruce Lee,
Yes.
and they gave it to David Carradine, who was a white man pretending to be a Chinese man.
Well, you know what
Yeah,
they used to do back in the day with the
yeah.
Native American movies. A lot of their bodies got spray painted.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. But
They,
we could do a show on that. We could do a show on that.
he said he said he thought D Man said he thought part two was garbage. You know, like I thought both of them was pretty solid.
Here's my thing about Kill Bill 1 and 2. I thought the fight scene with who's that, Lucy Liu, I thought that it could have been longer.
Yeah.
Um, I thought the fight scene with Bill should have been a fight scene. Um, the longest fight scene she had was with Vivica Fox. And then the lady who played who I think that was Daryl Hannah. Um, the lady that she snatched her other eyeball out. I,
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
think that was Daryl Hannah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Um, I just wanted more of a fight scene. I mean, she spends 2 movies looking for Bill, and when she finally catches up, she does the 5 finger death touch, and dude's dead. Like I wanted to see a fight scene.
Shoot, I want to learn that move, man.
Ha ha ha!
I want
Man,
that move.
you already know, man. They don't want us learning their secrets. But
Yeah.
to me, um, this is one of the few Quentin Tarantino movies that he doesn't drop the M bomb, and
Yeah, true.
It's not a lot of cursing in it either. It's really not. It's really. I thought that the anime shorts he had in the movie, I thought that was like awesome. I thought it was all. He could
Yeah,
have did a whole movie just straight anime, and I would have loved it.
I thought if he would have did it separately, which they could still do it now. That
Hmm.
like I agree with you on that. I think that would have been really dope. Um, a lot of like I said, this especially the first one. I agree with y'all as far as there was more action in the first one. Um,
Hmm.
and I thought I really liked the storyline. Trying to kill Bill and then finding out that her daughter really didn't die at the end. I thought the storyline was pretty solid too. So um, I
Yeah.
give this out of five. I
Hmm.
give this. I give it a 4.5 as far as replay value. You
Hmm.
can make an argument for it being a straight up five, but I give it a 4.5 because I'm doing these together, and I do agree the second one was a little bit slow.
All
It was.
scenes in both movies would have been longer.
Hmm.
I like I said, she finally gets the bill, and the fight scene was so quick. I mean, maybe maybe they had a longer fight scene and it got edited. It got cut.
Yeah, maybe he might come out when it gets like an anniversary. Maybe you're right.
Right.
You might see a longer fight scene.
Yeah, but she did her thing. I was very surprised to see the Game of Death onesie she had on. That was
Yeah,
pretty. That was a throwback to Bruce Lee. Um, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I've seen it multiple times.
me
Uh,
too.
when I can watch it, I do watch it. And that song that the nurse was whistling throughout the hall, I knew that song. I heard it somewhere before. But I like the mix of kind of Western and Eastern uh, fights and philosophies, and you know, I thought her getting buried in the coffin and digging her way out. I was like, okay, it's the movies. That's what I tell my daughter. I said, it's a movie. Just enjoy it.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, all right, yeah, yeah. I would give it three on my 5 scale, just
Yeah,
because I wanted the fight scenes longer.
okay, understandable.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir.
Let's go to your second one, man.
My second one is The Raid Redemption.
Dag, you know what? I never seen this, but this Tony Jaa?
No, no. Tony
Okay,
Jaa did Ong Bak. He
in
did
the
like three Ong Bak movies. He was in uh the Fast and the Furious movie where Paul Walker was fighting in that tank bus thing. That was Tony Jaa.
okay.
This guy, his name is, oh my goodness, let me see if I can pronounce his name right. I well, it might be Ikoa. Um, I'm murdering his name,
I
but you
bet
can see,
you know who he is. I bet you Stormy.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. When I was writing these names down, I was like, man, I know Stormy B know how to say these names. I started to reach out to Drew, like, yo, can you have Stormy call me? Because I want to know how to say this guy's name. Um, I don't think Stormy liked this movie. We talked about it one time
Oh wow.
during this podcast. I don't think he liked it, but I love it. Um, the star, you'll see him in Expendables. I think it's Expendables 4, Mile 22. He was in Snake Eyes. He was in G.I. Joe. And
Oh, who
yeah,
that is. He played dag. Did he play the main character in the G.I. Joe movie?
um, I don't know because I didn't that was the G.I. Joe with the Rock in it, and I didn't watch that because I didn't like the first one, so I didn't see the sequel. But he was in Man of Tai Chi, which is a very good movie. It has your guy from John Wick, Keanu Reeves. He's in it. The movie is directed by Garth Evans. He did The Raid 1 and 2. There would have been a 3, but it got canceled. It looks like most of his movies are made in Indonesia. The guy, he's also in the movie with Joe Taslim. He played in Mortal Kombat. He was Sub Zero. He was also in the Fast and the Furious 4. Fast and the Furious 5, 6, and 9. Um, he was all. Then there's another one called man. I wish Stormy was here because he could say these names. But the guy who was named Mad Dog in this movie, he was in John Wick. He was in Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and from my understanding, he was the martial arts choreograph for this movie. The movie the movie made 9.3 million dollars on a $1.1 million budget. Of course, it was filmed in Indonesia. It's a shot out. It's a shot of the game of death. Okay, let me set the story for you.
Go ahead.
The
Break it down.
the guy you see on the screen, he's the hero. He's on a special elite team of police officers, their version of our SWAT team. He goes in the building with his group. Every level of that building is ran by a mobster, and he's a famous actor in Indonesia. I already know Stormy knows these names. He's a crime lord, and he gives the the villains in the apartment building free sanctuary if they take out the cops. So they get into the building. Each level presents its own challenges, just like the game of death. It starts out with a gun battle, and then it breaks off from extreme martial arts. Man, I have never seen them go at it like they go into this movie. There's lots of action every floor. And like I said, it's like the game of death. A great fight scenes, lots of blood, lots of martial arts movie that me personally, now I don't, Stormy has probably watched a whole bunch of martial arts movies. For me, I basically knew Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, seen Jim Kelly one time in a movie that was Enter the Dragon. And I've seen what was the Five Deadly Venoms. I've seen that. And Kid with the Golden Arm. Um, and probably several. I probably seen 20 karate movies in my lifetime. You could throw in Iron Monkey, which is good. A lot of Jet Li movies on top of that. But in this movie, man, they fight scenes are crazy. And it's continuous. It seems like you don't breathe in every level dude get to. Now, the main crime dude, he's at the top level, just like in the Game of Death. He fights his way through guys coming after him with machetes, machine guns. Um, on top of that, they throw something a treat in there for you. He's in there trying to rescue his brother from the crime lord, and it's this fighting. Every level is fighting. Every level they go at it. I mean, they go at it, and it's nonstop. From the moment they walk into the building, it's nonstop action, man. They
Is
got
it English?
snipers, they got everything in this movie you will want in a martial arts movie, man. It's just
Is it in English or is it subtitled? That
both,
people know. Oh, okay. Oh, you
both,
have.
both.
Okay.
They do have an English dub, and I watched it on I think I watched it on Prime, and I had to watch the subtitles, but I already seen it many times before. So, and then if you watch the raid, you have to see part two. Part two is even like, man, you like Kill Bill. This movie to me is my Kill Bill. You will not go wrong with this movie, man. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. I love this movie. I recommend it to anybody that likes martial arts movies and action. And they go in, it's like 12 dudes go in, two walk out, man. And then of course the star walk out, and it's amazing, man. They go from floor to floor, and then a couple scenes they get knocked down. He got knocked down through a floor, and then he climbed back up. Man, this is non-stop action. Um, you can even turn the volume down and watch the caption, and you won't miss a beat. They go at it. Um, there's one scene in the raid 2 is a continuous fight scene. I watched the behind the scenes when what they did was there was a car chase, and in the car chase, like in Deadpool, when he was fighting them in the SUV, they did that scene in the raid 2, but instead of cutting and then resetting for the next shot, is one continuous shot. What he did was he disguised the cameraman as the car seats. So when the car came up and dude was fighting, they passed the camera from one car to the fight car to the next car to show one continuous shot. It was awesome. I wish the director Garth Evans would have made a part three. The way part two ended, you knew it was going to be a part three. Uh, I just I lose my breath. This is one of these action movies that you watch and you forget that you're breathing because you. I love the fight scenes. Um, I don't know the fight scenes that the his practice. I don't know his practice or what he fights, but I've never seen that style. Again, he's a big star in Indonesia, so
Oh,
they got a whole nother style over there.
give it.
I love the movie. I recommend it.
I didn't. I didn't get your rating.
3 out of 5.
Damn, you hard, man. You hard on these movies.
Three out
Yeah,
of five.
I ain't mad at
Well,
you.
only reason I get it 3 out of 5 is, you
Salute to
know,
Joe Townsend. Go ahead. My bad.
oh, no problem. Only reason I give it 3 out of 5 because there was a couple scenes in there. I was like, wait, yeah, okay, I can understand that. But man, it was awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. Let me change my rating. I give it 4 on my 5 rewatch. I have watched this movie hundreds of times, and I'm always entertained. Hi Tay Tay, Superman's a troll.
You know he had to throw that in there. All right, I'm gonna go to mine. Dark Knight Returns, man. Dark Knight Returns, man. This movie right here, uh, just when I thought nobody could master playing the Joker, you have my boy Heath Ledger come in there, and he had his take on the Joker, and it was very like interesting. He had a lot of memorable scenes. Unfortunately, it was his last movie that he would ever do, but at least he could be honored knowing that this was a great movie, very successful. All of the people in his bracket, we always talked about. Most of us went to the movies to go see it, and then we also bought it on Blu-ray and DVD. Christian Bale did his thing. People may have not liked it, Christian Bale's voice when he was voicing Batman, when he got into Batman. But overall, he was a great Batman. He was a great Batman. He's definitely one of my top people that played Batman. Um, you had I forgot my man's name. He was in a couple movies. He's in a lot of movies. The one that played Two Face. He did a good job. He did a good job.
Oh,
That
I forget his name, but he was in he was in the movie
was in Battle
The
for L.
Core.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
that was my guy right there. He did a good job to a point to where I wish I could have seen him longer
Hmm.
the Two Face, because he really he did a good job to me playing Two Face.
Yeah, I wish he could have last longer in the movie. Because I did like the way they did Two Face in the movie.
Tay Tay, bats aren't rodents; they're flying mammals.
That's all right. That's all right. We go through this every week. We go through this
I'm
every.
gonna find that
Hey,
clip from Batman Forever, and I'm gonna have it on here just for when Tay Tay says that.
thank you, Pooh Man. 313. Aaron Eckhart. Eckhart.
Eckhart. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Pooh Man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. He said, I
Hey,
didn't like that Joker at all. You didn't like that
you
Joker
didn't
at
like Heath Ledger's Joker?
all? Oh my God. D-Man is
He
such a.
was the best since Jack Nicholson.
And I didn't really like Jack Nicholson's Joker. I like the Heath Ledger's better, to be honest.
Well, let's be honest. It's only been there was Jack Nicholson's Joker, then the Joker they did in
This
Suicide Squad with Will Smith.
Jared Leto. Jared Leto. He did.
Yeah, that was
I
a
gotta bring that
horrible
one.
Joker.
I
So
gotta
there's
bring.
only there's only been I think three dudes that play Joker, and
Nah,
here's
forget about
here's
Joaquin.
my shot at Tay Tay. Here's my shot at Tay Tay. Hey Tay Tay, you know they killed Superman again, right? I'm just letting you know. Hey Tay Tay, you know they filming Superman the movie here in Cincinnati, right? Yeah, just letting you know. Just let- just letting you know. So yeah, this 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 watch. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you
but
said he was a horrible Joker, the one in Suicide Squad. Yeah,
yeah,
he
he was horrible.
Magneto. You
He was.
forgot about Joaquin Phoenix though. The one that was in Gladiator that played the bad guy. Uh,
Oh yeah,
yeah, he did.
but yeah, you're right.
Storyline,
That
but he did
that
a good job.
Joker with that the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, that was awesome. But he didn't really have a Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with
It
you.
was a good standalone movie. They supposed to be doing a part two.
Yeah, yeah. It's supposed to come out. I don't. I think it may be coming out this year towards the fall, but
Uh,
don't quote me on. Don't take my word on that. Yeah,
you know,
Joaquin.
Tay Tay. You know, Tay Tay. I looked up. Batman got more coverage. He has more cartoons. He has more movies. Um, it's just Batman. We go through this every week. Every week, Superman is a troll. Period.
She said my two favorite Jokers are Jack Nicholson and Heath.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
yeah,
Rest in peace.
yeah. Jack Nicholson. He, unfortunately, I think he done fell ill too. But his
Oh,
Joker
he is. He's
was,
not doing good, right?
huh?
Jack Nicholson. What's wrong with him? He got something wrong with him.
I don't quote me on it, but I read he got something like what Bruce Willis got. Don't
Mm,
quote me on. I'll have to look it up again. But that's why he probably ain't done no work in a while.
mm.
Um,
I didn't
but
know.
Jack Nicholson's Joker was that was
I know
that
Val
was
Kilmer
good.
ain't doing good. He got throat cancer.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
prayers up for Val Kilmer.
Superman is not a god. He's a super simp. He
He said,
he's a super.
stay on topic. He said, leave
Oh,
Superman alone.
you're right. You're right, D man. You right. But I liked his Batman. I didn't like the voice
Yeah,
that he did. I didn't see why he had to change his voice. Um, but I liked his Batman better than I liked George Clooney's
yes,
and
yes.
Val Kilmer's Batman. I didn't like them. I didn't like them at all.
I liked the Val Kilmer better than I liked it George Clooney. I thought George Clooney did a bad job. I just didn't believe it. At least Val Kilmer, you seen the detective side of
Right.
Batman. You
Well,
know,
that George Clooney Batman movie was horrible. It,
that's
everything about that movie was horrible.
disgusting work. That
Yeah.
Batman and Robin movie, disgusting.
It it was horrible. But this Batman I liked. I don't like
Michael
the
Keaton was not no. He did a good job, but I don't think he was the best Batman. I like, I like, I like Christian Bale better than him. I just didn't like his voice.
um Jerry West was the best
Oh,
Batman.
oh my God, y'all gotta stop.
He
Y'all got
was he was he set the groundwork. He
oh
said not Jerry West. That's the
Adam,
Laker guy. Adam
Adam.
West. Adam West. He was he set the groundwork for Batman. You
Oh,
know,
I
ever
did not
since
like that colorful. I don't know. I just
Oh
didn't.
man, are you crazy?
I didn't
He
like
did that bat dance. Remember the bat dance he would do? And
it. I didn't like it.
after Adam West, none of the Batmans danced. None of the Batmans danced after Adam West. You know, it was
I like
but
Adam West. I like Adam West as a person and all of that, but I like the
mhm.
Christian Bale, man. I thought Christian Bale really, and actually, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. He's actually, to me, he did a great job. You
I
know,
didn't like that Batman. I'm sorry, bro.
I thought he did a
I
good job.
tried. I tried to watch it.
Let's see what he do in part two. Part two supposed to come
All
out.
right, I give him part two, but I'll watch part two. But I did not like that Batman. I didn't. I just didn't, man. I'm sorry, I didn't. I watched it. I was like, yeah, okay. He doing bat stuff.
See what
I get it.
they say.
Man, bring back this is what I want to see in future Batman movies. Bring back the hot Batmobile. Make it a Lamborghini or Bugatti or something. Bring back the Batmobile. I don't want to see tanks. I want
I will
I
admit
want
that I didn't like Christian Bale's. I agree with you with that. I did not like Christian Bale's Batmobile. I didn't like that tank looking thing. Nah, I didn't like that. I actually like this one in the new movie better because I feel like they tried to get closer to the original one. And that's one thing I could say about the 1966 one. I actually did like that Batmobile the best. For some
yeah, bring back the Batmobile. That's what it's it, it's the car, man. It's the car. Every kid wanted a Batmobile, you know, and now they got uh, bring back the Batmobile. Bring back the Batmobile, the Batplane, because Michael Keaton had all that in his movies, man.
yeah,
Bring that stuff
yeah,
back.
yeah, you ain't like what's the name did too? Adam West had him
Yeah,
in
he did. He did.
he even had shark repellent. Back
Yes,
shark.
he did.
What the
He had
hell? Now what the
he,
hell is shark repellent? Let's
in
be
real life. Uh, Sharks don't like the smell of themselves dying,
oh
and they flee from it. I watched this documentary. Well, I watch a bunch of documentaries, but it's for Batman. He got a contingency plan for everything.
and you right. I can't disagree with that.
I don't
Can't
know where
disagree.
he come into contact with sharks at in Gotham, but hey, gotta have a plan just in case.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't disagree. But on my watch list, my rating
Mm,
for this, I give it a 5. As far as rewatch value, I give this a straight up 5. You can always go back and rewatch this. It was a lot of memorable lines in this. One of my favorite parts that Christian Bale, I know it was supposed to be a serious scene, but it was always funny, was when Commissioner Gordon's son and his wife get kidnapped, and Two Faces is gonna flip the coin to see which one he's gonna lose because he lost his girlfriend. Said you don't want to kill the boy, Harvey. No,
my
Christian.
favorite, my favorite line in that movie was, "Let me show you a magic trick. Watch me make this pencil disappear." And then the dude walked over to him, slammed his head on top of the pencil. He said, "Ta-da!
Yeah,
It's
what
magic."
Gamble.
Loved
I
it.
think that was his name in it. Michael John White's name was Gamble.
Yeah, it's it's a shame. It's a shame we couldn't, dude. Dude, you know, the that happened to him. I would love to see him do another Joker. Cause you know that scene where he was walking out of the hospital and he went to set off the bomb, the explosives, and he turns around. He was like, the explosives didn't go off. That really happened. That was a blooper.
Oh
He was,
wow.
yeah, he was walking and he hit the switch he had in his hand, and they didn't go off, but off camera they had a malfunction and the explosions didn't go off like they're
Oh, so they
supposed to do.
incorporated that in the
So
movie,
yeah, they left it in the movie
and that worked.
and it worked. That scene worked. It worked, man. I like to watch those making of the movies and the blooper reels, man. To me, them blooper reels are funny. Like the one where The Rock takes a shot at Tyrese's forehead
Mm.
in the Fast and the Furious.
Mhm.
I seen this a
I,
hundred.
I only like the one from when I was a really little kid. I only like the first one for some reason.
Oh man! Now, as the Fast and the Furious, as the more movies they did, the dumber it got.
Because I felt like it wasn't really about cars no more. It wasn't really.
Right.
It turned into an action movie.
Well, it the last one they did was pretty good. It got back to the roots of the first movie with the cards and everything.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I feel like it should be.
yeah, it did. It was pretty good, and the new villains they introduced, that was pretty good too. But it wasn't good enough for me to watch it more than once. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. All
Um,
right.
shoot, let's go to your next pick. So, like I said, I gave this a five. If you never watched Dark Knight Returns, you don't. I don't know where you've been at. All right, what's your next one?
Saving Private Ryan.
Now I remember this movie, but I don't remember it. Go ahead.
Man, I had to do some research on this. Oh boy, I got a lot of information to give you. This was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yes, sir.
His movies don't miss. He's responsible for Jaws, Indiana Jones, all the way up to The Last Crusade. He's responsible for E.T. He does great documentary drama movies such as Amistad, Schindler's List, Munich, Lincoln. The stars are Tom Hanks. Um, you see, Tom Hanks was
I see
he's been in
Damon.
82. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I see a young Matt Damon.
Yes, Matt Damon was in here. Uh, uh, Last name Sizemore. He was in what's that movie with Will Smith when the government was chasing him? Um, he was in that movie. What's the name of that movie?
That might no. I'm thinking
All right, I'll think of it later. Tom Hanks from his career,
of.
he has done. He has been in 82 movies, but he's only credited for 62. Some of the movies are Forrest Gump, The Bachelor Party, Dragnet. Um, this guy got $30 million, 30 to 40 $40 million to do this movie, and a lot of it he got on the back end. This movie costs 70 up to 65 to $70 million to make, and $40 million they spent on. I think I'm sorry, $12 million they spent on the opening scene on Omaha Beach. They use 1,500 background actors. This does have Matt Damon. You may know him from movies like The Martian, Jason Bourne, um, Unity, Ocean's 1. I mean, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 12, 11, I think Ocean's 10, 11, 12, 13. Goodwill Hunting. He did a cameo in Deadpool, Deadpool 2. He was in disguise and you couldn't recognize him. Um, that's a lot of man. I almost covered 3 pages of notes with this one. I'm trying to break it down. Um, the movie is set in World War II. There are 4 brothers. They are in active duty. 3 of them died. The higher up, like the chief of staff or something like that, got wind of it and sent a group of men to go find Ryan and bring him home. The movie starts with the opening scene on Omaha Beach, the open action scenes on Omaha Beach. Like I said, they used $12 million over 4 weeks to film that scene. It was so authentic that they had to open up a 24-hour helpline for, at the time, the World War II vets that remember that scene, that were there. There were 2 uh, D-Day invasions, one at Normandy and one at Omaha Beach. Also, in the scene, in this movie, they traveled through France to a city called Ramel to find Ryan. They lose 2 guys along the way, and one of them was Vin Diesel was in this movie, a young Vin Diesel. And let me tell you something, man. I've seen a lot of Vin Diesel movies. He doesn't have a lot of speaking lines. He doesn't. He doesn't have a lot of speaking lines, and he's one of those actors that look good on camera, but his dialogue is very limited. They um they lose him and they lose another guy trying to find Ryan, and the movie has lots of action. If you like war movies like I do, it has you won't be disappointed. But one thing that struck out to me was where are all the black soldiers in this movie? So I had to look it up. I had to do my homework. So bear with me. I had to do some homework. The U.S. Army desegregated its units for the first time during World War II at the Battle of the Bulge. In December 1944 and January 1945, around 2,500 African Americans fought alongside white soldiers in the battle, and their performance was well received. By 1945, troop losses had increased. The number of African American soldiers in positions such as infantrymen, pilots, tankers, medics, and officers. And it goes on from there. Let me read you a snippet. Around around 1,700 black soldiers were part of the D-Day invasion in Normandy, including the 320th Brigade Balloon Battalion, which used helium-filled balloons to keep Nazi planes from strafing the beaches. If you watch Saving Private Ryan, you see after they secure the beach, you see these small blimp like things. Our American soldiers, our African American soldiers, were responsible for putting them there. I did not know that until I did the research of it. They were called the Buffalo Soldiers. That's what they called them. Um, this is a highly good movie. This movie only cost um 70, 65 to 70 million dollars to make. It made over $400 million. That's box office. That's not counting the DVD sales or anything like that. That's just what it made at the box office. There are no slow moments to me in this movie. Once they clear the beach, they go get their orders. They start out, and the first person who died was Vin Diesel. They got him out of the way real quick. And then the second one was the medic. He died. They were taking a machine gun embankment, and he died. And then they meet Matt Damon's character, Ryan, and it's just lots of action. Also in this movie is Paul Giamatti. There's what's the guy from Cheers? He's in this movie. I had his name on the top of my head. He's in this movie. There you see up and coming stars throughout this movie. You said, hey, that's so and so, and that. The movie is great. Steven Spielberg cannot miss when it comes to his documentary dramas. I highly recommend this movie. I give it 4 out of 5 on the rewatch thing. For me, I like it because it's a war movie. It's history to me, and I love history. It speaks about African Americans in the war, and because of what Tom Hanks did before this movie, there wasn't a World War II memorial. There was a Vietnam and Korean, and then you had the battleships that sunk in Pearl Harbor are still there. But he helped set up a memorial. This movie is Ted Danson. Thank you, Pooh Man 313. Ted Danson. It's great. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I
It's
had
one of
seen it. They made us
mhm.
watch this in school.
They did.
Yeah, yeah. Like they
We couldn't have watched this in school back then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They definitely let us watch this in school, and because I remember it was in like December, and it was like kind of honoring like the whole World War II theme thing. It was in high school though. It wasn't in like. And salute to Drew Titan. I see my bro come through. I was just letting Derek Gaines give that knowledge. I didn't even
Salute Drew
know.
Titan.
I didn't even know about.
Bronx on deck.
I didn't even know about that whole segregation thing with the soldiers.
Oh yeah, if you go back and watch Robert Townsend, I think Robert Townsend did the movie. He also played in it. It was called A Soldier Story, and that had a lot of actors in it. It had the guy who played the father from The Color Purple. It had the one guy who played in the Heat of the Night TV show. It's a good movie, and it talks about segregation and everything. And that movie was set during the time of war, World War II.
Okay. Um, what would you give it as far as
I'm 4 out of 5 on my rewatch. Is great movie, and I've never seen Tom Hanks play an action character. Um, Somebody correct me if he played an action character before this movie. He played drama. He played comedy. He played a Southern gentleman. He played. I think after this movie, he did the movie where he was a pilot, airline pilot. He did Captain Phillips. But before this movie, he did dramas and he did comedies. And then after that, I mean, this movie is awesome. Uh, um, this movie's awesome from the
Yes,
word go.
sir. And I appreciate all that, all them gems that you dropped too, man. I'm gonna get to my uh next pick. I'm gonna go with Wesley Snipes and Blade. Man, listen, this is one of the first as a little baby. This probably one of the first DVDs I ever had, and it actually got passed down to me. I think I still got it. It was my older brothers, and I still got it. And Marvel at the time was going through bankruptcy.
Hmm.
This was one of the movies that brought Marvel back. This is why if you ever hear people say, yo, they owe Wesley Snipes this and they owe Marvel owes Wesley Snipes that, they not lying about what they were saying, because at the time, from what a lot of people was telling me, because I was too young to comprehend, that Blade was one of those movies that brought them back. And we got to remember, in this time, there wasn't always comic book movies coming out every year like how my generation was. It is now. Like, you constantly see a comic book movie come out. It comes out. It comes out. Back then, it didn't. Comic book movies didn't come out as frequently as that.
Hmm.
Wesley Snipes played a big role in that. These movies was action packed. That freaking, even from the first scene when he shows up and he saves a dude that's a human and he don't realize that he's in a club full of vampires, all the
Hmm.
way up into the last scene when he has to fight Deacon Frost. Now I got a few things that I'm mad about in the movie as far as how they portrayed the characters. But as far as that, they could get away with it because Wesley Snipes did such a good job that I could forgive all of the things that they did wrong as far as when it comes to Blade character. Because if you don't know, Derek Gaines, Blade is my favorite African American. Um,
Blade
yeah, Blade, yeah,
as a character,
yeah, comic. As far as
really.
comic, yeah, like I'm a diehard Blade guy. Like
So
I feel.
no Power Man. What was his name? No Luke
Let me tell
Cage.
you, let me tell you, let me tell you, and I know why people say that. And it's funny that you say that. A
Uh-huh.
lot of people always get at me because Luke Cage is from Harlem. They
Uh-huh.
always get at me. They always be like, yo, I like Luke Cage. And to be real with you, even though they are portraying the Falcon right, the Falcon is from Harlem too.
Hmm.
Him and Luke Cage is from the same block. They just made him from down
Hmm.
south in the movies. I don't know why they did that. But the Falcon really is, him and Luke Cage go, why read Civil War. They'll tell you that. They
You
tell
know,
you that.
most of Marvel heroes are from New York.
Yeah. You gotta understand. Stan Lee was from New York,
Right, right.
born and raised. So I'm not surprised that it was like
I
that.
uh, I
Yeah, go ahead.
like Blade. I did. I like Blade. This also you gotta remember this is a time where Wesley Snipes was hot. You know,
Yes.
yeah, I think this is after Blade came after New Jack City, and Wesley Snipes was still hot back then. Blade was good. It was it was good for its time. Uh, I did see the deleted scenes between him and Deacon Frost, and let me tell you, you would not have liked the deleted scenes because
Oh, you know
it
what?
did
I'm
not.
gonna look it up on YouTube. They usually have.
It did not. It wasn't in. Only thing I didn't like about Blade was the soundtrack. You got to remember back then we went to the record store and brought soundtracks,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I think the music in Blade was techno music. Other than that, I loved it. I loved it. I watch it as many times as I can. I put it on when I need something to watch. I'm gonna watch Blade. Uh, Wesley Snipes, Whistler was Chris Christopherson, the lady who played the damsel in distress. I never knew her name, but Blade was
Oh,
good.
the one that was in Dead Presidents, homegirl from Dead Presidents.
And you know what? You gonna take my black card? I never saw Dead Presidents.
You never seen that?
No,
Wow, that was a good. That's
no,
a good
I
movie.
never saw Dead Presidents. Set it off, and I sat down and tried to watch Menace to Society, but I couldn't get through it. Uh, yeah, you're gonna take my black card on that one.
I'm just surprised because you were OG Derek Gaines. I'm
Oh man,
surprised you ain't tell me. You ain't telling me about. I be watching those movies. I didn't see every
I
single
watch
one.
Boys in the Hood. I seen that. I'm not gonna lie. Again, this is back in the time where Boys in the
They
Hood had a
gave you
nice
what?
soundtrack. New
Oh,
Jack
so
City
you
had
go
a
off the
nice
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
You go off the
Uh,
soundtracks.
let's see. I think Ricochet with Ice T had a nice soundtrack. White Man Can't Jump had a good soundtrack. One more. What's the one set in New York? What Spike Lee? God, Do the Right Thing. That had a good soundtrack. So this is back in the time where I when I went to go watch the movie, I go buy the soundtrack because I enjoyed the music. Them other ones I mentioned, I can't tell you nothing about them. I
You,
can't.
you reading it?
You
You reading this, Derek Gaines?
huh?
You reading this?
Yeah, I see Tay Tay. It's always it's Tay Tay from New York.
Yeah, she from strong. She
That's
from
what it is. That's what it is. I'm sorry. It must be a Midwest thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's every week. Every week. It's Tay Tay. Tay Tay will be the one gets sent to the office every day in school.
She better not. Mama Brown would have been on her helmet. Mama Brown would have been on her helmet. She ain't got time to be running up to the schools.
Oh man. Whew, I remember that as a kid.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Ooh, I was like, please don't call my mama. That was that wasn't didn't end well for me. But
Yeah, but this
I
was.
love Blade. I didn't like the last Blade that
Oh
they
yeah,
did.
none of us did. I don't think none of us
But
did.
this movie it helped Marvel purchase back some of its characters.
Yes, sir.
I think that's how we got Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man brought in some money, but Blade helped them bring in the money. And then it just there would not be a MCU without Blade to kick it off, and his character doesn't get enough credit and the way they doing Mahershala Ali trying to get the next Blade movie done. Man, there's been movies that's been in pre-production, post-production, and already out in the theaters at the same time they were talking about doing Blade, and it
Yeah,
they
that's true.
just dragging their feet on it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are. Because the
They
little
just
teaser
I don't
right
think they're gonna do it.
now,
I don't think they're gonna do it. We gonna talk about this one day. I don't think they're gonna do it because every strong black lead in Disney they kill off. They kill off. They
well, we
did it
can't
with
say that
the Black
about
Panther. Huh?
Chadwick Boseman because he passed, unfortunately, and that
Yes,
movie was too successful to ignore. Black Panther was
yes.
too successful.
But my stance on this is yes, yes he did pass, but why didn't they recast him?
Yes, I
Why
agree.
why didn't they recast Black Panther? They did it. How many James Bonds have we have? How many Batmans? How many Supermans? How
Point.
many just whatever? You know, is maybe they should have waited before they pushed out a Black Panther 2. Maybe they should have waited.
They did a terrible job with Namor. I was looking so forward. How y'all do that, man? How y'all do Namor like that? Namor is such a dope character in the comic books, man. They, oh man, that you right.
Yeah,
That was
they dropped the ball. They dropped the
nasty work.
ball on that. I think they were feeding off of people's emotions when they did that movie. Um, they should have waited. They should have waited. You know, I like Chadwick. I like what he represents. But at the same time, I wanted to see the character, still in Disney. I wanted to see the character. I have never seen school buses of white kids show up at a theater, and this is on a stack of Bible. They showed up in droves to see
I
Black
believe it.
Panther.
I believe it. I believe it.
I've
Shoot,
never seen that in my life.
the whole world showed up. The whole world because it did good worldwide.
Yes, he did.
That was one of the movies I haven't seen that since I was a kid. That
Mm,
where a movie stayed on. You know how if a movie does really good, it stays in theater for a minute. Like Black
mm,
Panther was in the theater for a minute. They
yeah.
usually get rid of that joint after a while in New York. You go down to Regal Cinema, downtown 42nd Street, Fifth Ave, bro. It's usually out of there, and they putting on something else that's coming out. But Black Panther was in there for a minute. I've seen it like 3 times with 3 different people, and
It's
not
funny you mentioned the Regal Cinema. That's funny you mentioned the Regal Cinema because we got a Regal Cinema here,
yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah.
that's where they
That's like
showed.
the theater in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah, where that you from in New York City? Like that's everybody know you got to go down to the city and go to the Regal. I mean, they closing
mm,
it down. I don't know if
hmm,
they did already. I haven't been to the theater in a while, but it's still that was like the place to go to watch the movies, and they
yeah,
got different areas too. You get the
yeah,
live action joint where the chair moves and
hmm.
the water is like mist to spray on you. Like it'll react with the movie. You know what I mean? And like the 3D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got 3 different areas. Yeah.
Our Regal Cinema was just a movie theater in the hood,
I
and
hear
it's the last movie I saw there was Malcolm X with Denzel Washington, and I think it's closed since then. They haven't torn it down because it's a historical landmark, but
you.
they haven't renovated it either. But I wish they would bring it back. But Blade was a good movie. Was a
Yes,
good
sir.
movie.
Um, Lala D, salute, Queen. And yeah, man. Like I said, this from my childhood, this is a movie I'll never forget. This is one of those movies I'm gonna remember on my deathbed because I remember like I probably had other DVDs,
Hmm.
but this DVD I remember like holding, putting it in the tape thing, being real little, putting it in the DVD player and playing it
Hmm.
and loving this movie. And shout out to my moms because my mom never was one of them moms that really monitored what I watched. I guess because of the era she came up in. Her parents didn't do that to her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I guess that's why, even though I may be being a hypocrite, my mom didn't do it to me. But if I had kids, I would do that. I gotta look at what they watching because it was my era right now. It's kind of
Right.
crazy that's going on. But
Yeah, you have to monitor what kids
yeah,
watch
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man. But this is a great movie, man. Get to your next pick, man. We winding down. What's this? We on
Casino Royale
yeah, we on our last two.
came out at 2006.
I love this one, man. And before you go,
Hmm.
what's his name? What's my man's name? What's the first James Bond name, man? What's my man? My man.
There's
What's,
there's a James Bond. I think before
I
Sean
know.
Connery,
Yeah, but yeah, Sean Connery. It
Sean
was a great.
Connery,
He
Roger
was.
Moore, Pierce Bronson. There was one guy in between Roger Moore and Pierce Bronson, but
Yeah,
they only gave
yeah,
him one movie.
movie. I can't remember his name.
I can't
He was
remember
the
his
bad
name either.
guy. He was the bad guy. Let me tell you, this is how you know I'll be watching old school movies. He was the bad guy in the Rocketeer. How you like
Oh,
that?
really?
Yes, he was the bad guy in the Rocketeer. Look,
I,
watch
I
the
didn't see the
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer.
You never seen that? It was that
Mm-mm.
actually was a comic. That actually was a comic before they brought it on the
I have
screen.
to check it
Reason
out.
is because of the comic. My brother had the comic, and then he was like, they got a movie. People always do that to me.
Yeah, I didn't see the Rocketeer, but this James Bond, Daniel Craig. I've seen a lot of James Bond movies, and to me,
Timothy Dalton. Thank you.
What was it? Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay, License to Kill in Living Daylights. Okay,
And
let me
License
check
to
this
Kill.
movie.
Oh, he only
Uh,
had two. He was the
he
only
only
one
had
that
two.
yeah. Yeah, but
I
well,
didn't see none of them.
nah,
I,
he actually didn't do a bad. You know what's crazy? Him and Pierce Brosnan kind of looked like they could have been related, so I wasn't mad that they replaced Pierce Brosnan with him.
that's the one. Lala the George Lindsay. Lindsay by. That's the one I was thinking of, but I forgot the one about Timothy Dalton. I forgot that one. It must not have been any good because I seen them all almost. This movie, I got the director wrong, and the Green Lantern movie. The director for this one is Martin Campbell. He brought you Golden Eye, Mask of Zorro, Legend of Zorro,
Okay.
and he brought you the Green Lantern. Yeah, boo. On a budget of 160 million,
Hmm.
it made 616 million, and it was the highest grossing James Bond movie until Skyfall. Skyfall. I'm sorry. Daniel Craig was in. It's the James Bond, of course. He was in Glass Onion, Invasion. He learned Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Krav Maga, and then another one. Stormy was here; he could say it. To do the fight scenes, he to me he was the toughest James Bond. Uh,
Pierce,
the,
Sean Connery said he's actually the best one. You
Daniel
know
Craig, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he said that he liked Daniel. He said Daniel Craig is the only one that's balanced out of
He didn't, and you know what's so funny about this James Bond? Well, in Casino Royale, the first car he drove was a Ford Taurus. Now you think of James Bond,
taking
you
the
know, he
accent.
driving them expensive Italian cars,
Yeah, facts.
and he was a ladies' man and all that, but not this James Bond, not this one. He was rough, man. There's a scene that he's swimming in the water and he goes to stand up, and that scene wasn't supposed to happen. What he did was when he stood up, he stood on a sandbar, which made him look taller than what he was. The guy was ripped, he was chiseled. When he did Skyfall, he had 10% body fat. There was none of using, like in previous James Bond movies, like them gadgets that we're known for James Bond to use. He only used only gadget he used in Casino Royale was a defibrillator to keep his heart going. He's the most of all the James Bonds. He fought the most. He did, to me. He did the most scenes. It was exciting from the word go. I like James Bond. I loved his James Bond because it was like, yeah, that's how I see James Bond. I don't see James Bond like in Goldeneye when it exploding pen. I don't see that. I see James Bond kicking you through the window or something, and he did that, man. And he did everything that I thought a James Bond should do, and he was good at it. And then when it came down to playing poker or whatever card game they was playing, man, you gonna take my black card again when I tell you I don't play spades because people say I cheat.
Yo, let me tell you something. I can't even take your black card because my mom turned her life over to the church by the time I was born, so she
Uh
never taught me. She was the
huh.
best card player, they told me, in Harlem. And she got saved and she only played Uno. So don't feel
Yeah,
bad.
I never. I don't understand. When I played spades before, I noticed that in whatever house I was playing in, they had their own house rules. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. But the lots of action in this movie, and you talking about John Wick going on like a 4 movie shooting spree because they killed his dog and shot his and stole his car. This movie, his main squeeze get killed at the end of the movie, and he goes looking for him in the next 2 movies. So this James Bond is the best I've seen, man. I wish he could have played it until he didn't want to play it no more. He really buffed up for this role. If you see him in Glass Onion, he's skinnier, he's leaner. He doesn't look like a secret agent or anything like that. The guy did his thing in this movie, and I wish he could have stayed James Bond, but it is what it is.
Wait,
Um,
he's not it no more?
no, no, they killed him in the last movie. Yeah,
Oh.
they see the word that I heard was they you could there'll be another James Bond, but there'll be another 007. That's what I heard.
I was
That's
actually
what I.
trying to get used to Daniel Craig as, and I do think Doctor No was my favorite one, even though that's way before my time. I,
Ooh,
I
that's a
like,
Sean Connery one, ain't it?
yeah, that was the first one. Well, not the first one, but the first
Let's
one.
see. The first James Bond movie I remember watching was it Moonraker? The one with was that the
That's
one with
Roger Moore, right?
yeah, was that the one with Grace Jones? And they had this dude, this like 7 foot tall dude
Oh,
with
Jaws.
Jaws. Yeah, yeah. That's
You know, the
he
only
was
reason why I remember all of this because I had a lot of the James Bond video games,
yeah.
and
Yeah, well,
they had
only James Bond video game I remember was GoldenEye on 64.
they had a lot more. They had one for Xbox when I was a kid. I forgot which one that was called. It might have been the World Is Not Enough. I don't know. Oh, I used to
It
watch
was
my
it
brother.
was a good movie. I give it on my rewatch scale. I give it a 4 out of 5. You know, because to me he was the James Bond. You know, I don't even know why they cast Pierce Bronson as James Bond besides his British accent. Because to me, he will always be Remington Steele. To me he wasn't tough. He wasn't tough at all.
Oh, you
This
didn't like
guy,
Pierce Brosnan?
eh, think about name one Pierce
I
Brosnan
didn't
movie,
really like
James Bond
Roger
movie.
Moore, but I dealt with him. I didn't really like Roger
You
Moore.
didn't like Roger Moore?
I didn't like Roger Moore.
I
I
like
watched
Roger Moore.
I'm a real James Bond guy.
I like Roger Moore. I like Roger Moore. Um, because that's that's around the time what was that 80s, late 70s, early 80s James Bond. So I'm into watching that stuff now, or where back then. And then it was the other two, and Pierce Bronson and Daniel Craig. I heard that they're gonna have a black woman play 007, and there'll be a guy playing James Bond. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But I'm not sure. So don't when I found out, I'll let you know. But I give it a,
Blocking, come
four out
on.
of five on my rewatch scale. You won't be bored with this. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. And the main his main squeeze was in she was in the Chronicles of Riddick. She was in Riddick. She was in Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Tides. It's just he was meaner in this movie. You didn't see him smile hardly in this movie. He always had his poker face on. Shout out to Lady Gaga. But he was it, man. He was
Don't
it.
worry, Tay Tay. She got a wrench. She got a wrench now. Cause I was about to say, Tay Tay, why you block D? She said, oh, I'm sorry, I know you was hitting the button by accident. But yeah, man, good choice. Good choice. I
Thank
gave
you.
this one a 5. I gave this
All
one a
right.
5. So hands down. Nah, it's cool. She got a wrench now, so she good. I just was I kind of like, what's happening? Um, okay. Hardcore Henry. Man, they took my idea, y'all. They stole my idea. I swear, you can ask my cousins from Queens. I had an idea where you know how you got a first person shooter game
Yes.
where is you just see the hand and the gun and all of that. That was my idea for a whole movie. And lo and behold, they did it. Hardcore Henry. If you've never seen this movie, this was a good movie. Henry's body got dismantled. They added uh, cybernetic pieces to his body, AI, if y'all want to
Hmm.
call it like nowadays. And he was able to move faster and things like that. And basically, he didn't know that he was basically like a clone. They did that to a bunch of people, giving them names and stuff like that. So he finds out at the end he's shooting a bunch of Russians. I think it takes place in Russia. It's somewhere east over there, over that way. And Henry's getting busy. It's in a first person camera type of setting. You gotta watch this movie. You have to watch this movie. The ending is dope because the girl that they claim to make his wife, she's really with the bad guy. So at the end, she was like, Henry, she's hanging off the plane, do it for love. And he slams the door shut on her hands and she falls down because she was really lying the whole time. Man, this is a good movie, man. If you have not watched Hardcore Henry, that goes for everybody in the chat. You really need to watch this. I know you haven't watched it, Derek Gaines. I wish I could send you the digital copy because I think when you get the Blu-ray, you can get the digital copy and play it anywhere. I'm gonna try to see if I could do that and I can send it to you.
Oh, I've seen this movie.
Oh, you see? Oh, you seen it?
Yeah,
Oh, thank God! Praise
yeah,
God! Praise
yeah.
God!
I loved it. Oh man, it was. I loved it. It gave you know how the Matrix gave a different perspective of shooting angles. Man, this angle, it was like you said, like a first person shooter. It was you. I think one scene he's on a skyscraper or something, and he's
Yes,
what you saw he saw, but it
yes,
made you feel like the way they shot it, they made you. It felt like it was you, like virtual reality or something like that.
yes,
Um,
yes,
I love the action, nonstop action from the word go. I think the movie he was looking for his girlfriend or something. But I know he
yes,
was looking for somebody, and they were trying to stop him.
yes.
And the movie was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I've seen it several times. It's a shame it didn't do well at the box office. I thought the movie was great.
I got
I
it
thought
on
the movie
Blu-ray.
was great.
I got it on Blu-ray.
Okay, okay.
That's how much I like the movie. I seen it in the theater, and I bought the Blu-ray.
I loved it. I highly recommend it. For
I give it a
somebody who
5.
likes,
That's how much I like it, y'all.
you
I
gave it
give
a 5.
yes.
Yeah, it's worth a 5. It's worth a 5. It's just nonstop action. I mean, the title was in his name. It's hardcore. It's hardcore. It's from the moment go. He gets up, he runs. You can see him running. You can see him jumping. It wasn't like you know how they show different camera angles of a chase scene. It was him. It was you. The way they shot it, it was you. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm going to see if I can watch it tonight. I'm gonna see if it's on Hulu.
I don't think it's gonna be on Hulu, but you know what? You might be able to find it. Might be able to find it somehow. I got this site that I could give you. My man's he used to do computers and all of that in college.
Okay.
He gave me all the sites. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, man, this one was it, it was so I like it because it's like one of those movies that's good, but it just it's how am I trying to say it's compact. Like You get everything fast, but it's efficient and it's a good storyline. It's like you said, it's nonstop action. You're getting everything in this, so that's why I
Hmm.
give it a five. And the storyline is even good.
Hmm.
So
I like the story. I like the action.
I would like
It,
everybody else that didn't watch it in the chat, Lala D Tay Tay, if y'all can find this movie, Hardcore Henry, watch it. I guarantee even females will like this movie.
it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Pooh Man 313 said it gave him vertigo.
Oh, because
Oh, it
that's what
gave
it's
it.
funny.
I'm sorry. It said he said it gave people vertigo when they watch. I could see that.
I can see that. Yeah, I was gonna say my mom said she felt dizzy watching it. I remember because this came out when my mom was still around,
Yeah.
and she
God
was
bless
saying
you.
that. She said, "Oh my god, it's all over the place, baby. Oh my god." She said,
Yeah. I
she never seen a movie like this.
because they didn't they haven't done it since then. Because remember they used to do movies like the Blair Witch, and they haven't done a movie, especially an action movie at this angle. I would love to see it again. I would love to see
Tay
them
Tay,
do another movie like this.
Hardcore Henry, Hardcore Henry.
I yes, Miss Tate, I think you would enjoy Hardcore Henry. What? Eric Jordan? Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
No,
It
it's
is. He said
no.
Hardcore Henry is the shit. It
Oh,
is. It's pretty good.
yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I the watch play. I give it a five,
You give it
especially
a
if
five.
you like watching a action, an action packed movie. Here it go right here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was surprised that I was into it. What drew me to it was the camera angles that they used, and then the action was pretty good, and the storyline was good. And I'm surprised it didn't do better.
I'm surprised too. I'm very surprised. Um, you want to get to your last one, and then I'm gonna get to mine because I know a lot of the people got to get up for work.
Yeah, yeah. My last one is 300,
Woo! Good pick. Good pick. Good pick.
and this is as you know, I like historical drama movies. Give you a background in 480 BC, a state of war exists between Persia, led by King Xerxes. He was in the Bible. He's in the book of Esther.
Yes,
Uh,
he is. Yes,
at
sir.
the Battle of Thermopylae, Leonidas, king of a Greek city called Sparta, was outnumbered and warring wars against the massive Persian army. Through certain death of waste, the Spartans, their sacrifices inspired all of Greece to unite against Persia. And the person who led Greece as a whole was Alexander the Great. Uh, the Immortals, which are talked about in the movie, the Immortals were an elite military unit, the Persian army during the. I wish Puman was here; he could say this word. The Achaemenid Empire, 550 to 330 BCE. They were the emperor's personal bodyguard and shock troops, and were always kept at strength of 10,000. If an immortal was killed or unable to fight, they were immediately replaced, given the impression they were immortal and invincible. The immortals were likely better protected than the Persian soldiers carrying armor and weapons. This movie was done by Zack Snyder. If you haven't heard of Zack Snyder, he's the one responsible for all of DCU movies. He did The Watchmen. He did Man of Steel. He did. I mean,
To admit it, but he did a good job with Man of Steel.
yes, yes,
He did a
yes.
good
It
job.
was.
I thought that
It
was the
was.
best Superman movie to me. If I
Man of
had
Steel was good. I wish Henry Cavill could have did more. Man of Steel was good, but I think The Rock has something to do with that, because The Rock was pushing Superman versus Black Adam. So
mm,
yeah, that's another thing. One day, on a budget to 60 to $65 million, the movie made $456 million. This is box office. $70 million opening weekend. Some of the stars were Gerard Butler. You see him in Law Abiding Citizens. Olympus Has Fallen. London Has Fallen. And How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. He was accompanied by Lena Kin, Kins, Kisney. I think I spelled the last name wrong. You know her from Game of Thrones. She played Cersei's. She was also in Ocean's 12 and the movie The Cave. Um, that scripture I talked about is in the book of Esther, chapter 1, verses 10 to 22. It talks about Xerxes and his father Darius. Historically, this movie was appeals to people who are into history like me, because it talks about the battle of Thermopylae, how the Spartans went to battle them. Visually, the combination of CGI, live action was beautiful. The
yes,
slow motion fights
yes,
was gorgeous.
yes.
Uh, when oh my god, they had the dude from The Wire, the guy that the
Dominique Wade
I
is
forget
that
his name. He was the
his
one.
name? Who man? Or Eric Jordan, man. What was his name? Is it Dominique Wade or am I bugging? That was my guy. He
The
did so
guy from
many.
The Wire.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I should have wrote his name down. I apologize, but yeah, he was in it.
he was the one that
My
said
favorite scene in there's so many scenes in this movie that could
yes.
be your favorite scene, but when Leonidas kicked that dude into the pit,
I want a pit like that, man. I want a pit. No, let me stop.
he said, "This is Sparta," and he and
He
he
said,
kicked that dude.
Spartans have a reputation, and those boy lovers.
He said them philosophers and them boy lovers will have that kind of nerve. Of course, Spartans have a reputation. Man, let me tell you,
Yeah, he had
I
me hyped.
love that movie.
So hyped, man.
I
Gerard
took
Butler
my
did
um,
good in
I
the
took my
Oscar.
ex girlfriend to see this movie, and I swear, man, she was. Whew, look at him. Look at his muscles. I was like, they painted on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They painted on. Those wasn't real
They
ass.
what they did was, he was ripped. They in between sets they would go lift weights, and what they did was they used black paint to highlight the muscles. That's why on camera he really looked ripped. It's all about angles and stuff like that, and
That's
shading and lighting. But anyway, the movie was phenomenal. I love the movie. I could watch that movie backwards and
me too.
forwards.
Me too. Me too.
It has some great scenes, some great lines.
You know what scene
Is
I hated, Derek?
what's
I
that?
hated when wifey had to sleep with a homeboy from The Wire.
Oh yeah,
I know
yeah.
why he did it. I always get mad at that scene. He said, "You will not like this. You will not."
It will not be over quickly. I am not your king.
And another thing I'm gonna say too, that hunchback dude, it would have been a rap. It would have been a rap for him. If I would have
You
put
know,
that
he cursed him though. Leonidas cursed him. He said, "May you live forever." Seeing Sparta to die for your country was the best you can
yeah,
do
that was the greatest honor.
for your country, for your people. And he
That's why he
cursed
looked
him and
like.
said,
That's why
yeah,
he cringed like that.
he said, "May you live forever," which he did. He got through to the next movie. But this movie, man, if you haven't seen 300, please watch it. It's based upon Frank Frank Miller's graphic novel. Um, he did a graphic novel first, then they made a movie out of it. He also did Frank Miller. I do believe he did the Watchmen graphic novel too. So it's a good movie. You know, if you like action, if you like historical content like I do, or if you're just want to see people just chop each other's heads off, that's the movie. It's gorgeously
How did
done.
this do? Do you got the numbers for this before we?
Um, it cost 60 to $65 million to make. It made $456 million. This is
Okay, that's a
box
good comeback.
office.
That's a good. That's a
It
good.
doesn't include any merchandise or any DVD sales. It made $70 million opening weekend because it was a warm weekend and people were. It was a. Do believe it was a summer or something. So it made $70 million the opening weekend. The scenes, a lot of the scenes, if you pay attention to it, they're used over and over and over. So they a lot of sets, I should say, they used over and over again, and that's how they save money too. If you look at the battle when they first started fighting the Persians, how they come crashing on the shields, look in the distance. That's all CGI, but you don't pay attention to it because you're looking at the soldiers up front. But if you look past them, you'll see that that's all CGI. The elephants they had in there, the rhino, the armored rhino they had in there, the fight scenes were gorgeous. uh I can't say anything bad about this movie.
Yeah, I give it a 5.
I
I
give it a I give it a 5.
yeah, rewatch
I
value. I get a 5, man.
I
Uh,
give it a 5. It was
it was
it,
good.
it was awesome,
Storyline was
man.
strong. The plot, and it was historic. It was actually something that actually happened. So
Yes,
definitely a dope movie, and I definitely strongly recommend this.
it
Same
was
with Derek
it
Kane.
was a great movie.
It,
I had a lot of action movies to choose from. John Wick, some
yeah,
martial
somebody brought
arts
that up.
movie.
Somebody brought that up too. The John Wick movies.
I chose this movie because the opening scene it draws you in, you know, and the shading, the lighting, the camera angles, it's gorgeous, man. Unfortunately, I wish they would have did another movie like this. They did Rise of the Empire, but it
That one
wasn't
wasn't
like
bad. It
300.
wasn't like the first one though. It wasn't as
Yeah,
bad.
it wasn't bad.
Kind of hard. This is one of them movies. I gotta admit, you only do one because
Right.
you can't really replace Leonidas. because he's dead, and
Right.
yeah, just can't do it. So
It
you
was it was
great pick,
gorgeous.
yeah, great
And
pick.
you gotta admit, Gerard Butler, he play I every time I see him in different movies, I see him as Leonidas.
Yep, he
I
should have got
see
a
him
he should.
in Law Abiding Citizen. He was phenomenal in it, but I still see him as Leonidas. He has range. You know, he did some action, he did some comedy, but I he will always be Leonidas. This movie will always be like I'll watch it probably three more times before the I gotta get in House of the Dragons, but man, I
Yeah,
don't know, man. It's just something about war movies that I like.
yeah. I mean that's probably your feel. Salute Tay Tay. We getting ready to get off. I'm gonna get on. I'm about to do
Night
my
night take that.
yeah. I'm about to do my last pick because I know everybody got to.
You
Uh,
think Tay Tay has a Superman night fight?
um, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. First blood. First
Rambo.
blood. Rambo. Um, man, this all my man's wanted to do was go in town and get some food. Why that sheriff do that to him like that? Talk about we don't like your kind around here. This is a quiet town, and it's my job to keep it quiet. Why he
Hmm.
man? He ain't have to do that to my man. John Rambo wasn't bothering nobody. He came from the war. To me, that was probably the realest war you could be in. Vietnam, that joint was crazy. If you put a gun in my head and say, "Hey, you got to pick out of these wars," I don't like none of them, but I damn sure don't want to be in Vietnam. I'll take World War II before Vietnam.
Vietnam and the Korean War, man, that's man, salute to the veterans that served in the Korean War and the Vietnam
Especially
War.
the brothers that had to go home.
Oh
This was
yeah,
around civil rights.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Um,
That's why if you watch Dead Presidents, it take place in the Vietnam War. I'm gonna just tell you that.
okay.
If you ever was to watch Dead Presidents, you would it would have hit home for you, especially if you paid attention to it and all of that. Because one the main character he was in the Vietnam War,
I
and actually the dude that was the main character that was based on a book that he wrote because he really served in.
John Rambo was a real person.
I didn't know. See that I didn't know.
Yeah, he actually served. I think he actually served. There was some lightweight controversy when this movie came out because John Rambo was a real person. You
I
know,
gotta look
but
that up because I
well,
knew about the dude in Dead Presidents. I forgot what
check
his
me
name.
on it. Check me on it. But
And
I
he
remember hearing about it around when this movie came out.
and the dude that was in Nam and Dead Presidents. He was a New Yorker. He was born and raised in the Bronx. Yeah, and he really went through it when he came back because he lost a lot of friends, and one of his friends was really a junkie. Man, you gotta watch it. Chris Tucker's in there. Uh,
Mm.
young Chris Tucker, a young Terrence Howard is in there, and the main character is played by Lorenz Tate, I believe. So yeah, you gotta watch that. But yeah, man, this movie right here was great. Um, basically he came home. I didn't say Lorenz Tate.
You
I'm
said the character he was playing was from
that he's
New York.
playing the person that wrote that book for the movie. He's born and raised in the Bronx. That's why if you see it, if you watch the movie, it was based in the Bronx because that's where the character was. I actually didn't know Lorenz Tate was from Chicago. So salute to that. Nah, I was just saying that. But yeah, man. I gotta look up the John Rambo thing. But salute to everybody. This movie, what you gotta say about this movie before we get off?
Um, Thinking about this movie made me think about other Sylvester Stallone movies. Did you know he played in again a World War sports time movie called Road to Victory? He played a soccer player, and he played with in the movie. He played along with the soccer player by the name of Pele.
Mm,
If you're into soccer, you know he was a soccer great. This movie, it was a good movie. Uh, Lots of action. Once he gets into town, they did mistreat him, and he had a flashback, and then broke out of the jail and went into the woods. You know, and I haven't seen. I There are a few Sylvester Stallone movies that I've seen that I was like, I'm not into that one. But this is one that I saw at least the first two. Uh, the third
yeah,
one, I think he did three of them.
yeah, I didn't like that. Well,
I
he
can't
did
remember
actually
them.
did more than
Hmm.
there was a couple newer ones, but I think the first one
Oh
was
yeah,
actually the best. I
yeah.
think
The newest one or the latest one, I
he
didn't
said
see
they knew
that.
First Blood, not me.
And you know, I haven't watched any of the Expendables either.
Oh, you never have? Wow.
It just didn't appeal to me, you know. Uh, Oddly enough, Sylvester Stallone got a TV show on Prime. It's called where is he at? King of Tulsa. That's what it's called. King of Tulsa. It's a really good show. It got the guy who played the let's see, I was gonna say the guy who played the white cop, the bald head white cop from The Wire. He's in it. A couple other people you might recognize in it, but as far as this movie, I give it a five. It's highly entertaining. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. If this movie was made now, it'll still be a five.
I think so
Um,
too. I think
it
so.
have a little bit more stunts and more CGI, but it is still be good. Uh, I highly recommend this. If you've never seen a Sylvester Stallone movie, I mean, who hasn't seen Rocky? But you know, there are people who haven't seen Rocky. So if this would be a great introduction to a Sylvester Stallone movie, and it's highly enjoyable. And I give it a five on my rewatch thing
Rocky
because
is
it.
the only ones I watch.
I'm sorry.
I say I think this Rambo franchise and Rocky is the only ones I watch from Sylvester.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I see. I seen Cliffhanger and didn't care for that. I seen The Tunnel, didn't care for that. What was it? Was it Cobra? Was it Cobra? Was it Turner and Hooch? I think it was Cobra. Didn't care for that. Um, the guy is actually funny. He's actually funny. He played in a couple movies where they gave him some lines. I've seen Demolition Man. It was okay. Um, he's more of an action star. He got his niche in action. That's what he should do. But it's a good movie. I highly recommend it.
Yes, sir. Love the scenes, love the action, love the storyline, and we gonna get up out of here. Salute to my brother, um, Derek Gaines, for coming through and chopping it up as always. This was our top five action movies that we ever seen. Salute to everybody in the comment section that joined us. We had a really good time. And man, we'll be back next week. I think next week we're gonna do what video games you wish could become movies. Five of them. Yeah, man. And with that being said, man, we out. Peace.
Peace. Thanks, man, for having me, man.